Alright, so we are going to create holes on this helmet geometry so that we can put these small screws right here. Let me hit F so I can frame the screws. So these guys right here, if I select them and hit 3 for smooth preview, are going to be flushed right on this edge right here with the surface of the helmet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in key strategic positions. I'm going to put those screws at the connection of 4 quads. And the reason why I'm going to put them in the connection of 4 quads is because it is really easy to create a hole for a tube or a cylinder in one of these intersections. Let me explain. So I have this cylinder right here and this polygon plane, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole on the polygon plane so that this cylinder can be merged together so I can create a hole. Now, why do I have this polygon right here with so few edges? That is because to create a perfect circle, we need a minimum of 8 faces. If I hit 3 smooth preview on this cylinder right here, you will notice that we get a perfect circle. If I go to my top view, notice that that cylinder, when I hit smooth preview, turns into a perfect circle. If I go to 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 edges, 8 faces in this case. The next thing that we need to do is we need to cut a hole on this polygon plane right here. Let me select it and isolate it. And the reason why I picked this is to show you how easy it is to cut a hole at the intersection of 4 quads. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this vertex right here. While holding Shift right mouse button, I have access to my vertices tools. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to chamfer this vertex. Let me go to the options. I'm going to reset the tool. Always reset the tool, and I'm going to click on apply. As soon as I do that, I get the poly chamfer UI. I'm going to enlarge the width by clicking on the word width, and with my left mouse button I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to move left to right. Now the length and the divisions, there's nothing we can do because we don't have enough geometry right here. So I'm going to hit Q, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this interface and I'm going to delete it. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to split these faces right here. These faces are not quad, as you can see. So I have to go to the modeling toolkit and I'm going to select my multicut tool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut from this corner to the center of this edge, and I'm going to hold Shift so that it shows me the center. All you got to do is just click on the edge and then just drag it to the 50%. Hit enter. And then I can do it on this corner right here. Click here, then hold Shift, click on the edge, and then drag it to the 50%. Hit enter, and I'm going to do that to the 2 additional corners. And there you have it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select these vertices right here, the newly created vertices, and I'm going to hit R for the scale tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale those 4 corners until I get something similar to the 8 edge cylinder I created. Now this doesn't have to be perfect yet, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back the visibility of the cylinder by selecting the object, and I'm going to unisolate this object. So on a top view, I'm going to hold the space bar and then click on the word Maya and go to my top view. Notice that my cylinder right here and the edges of the plane are identical. So I have faces that are quads all the way around my newly created hole. And now all we have to do is combine these 2 objects. Now, in order to merge these 2 objects right here, we have to first combine them, and then we're going to have to sew these edges together. We have to be aware of the direction of the normals. If I select my 2 objects, and I go to display, polygons, face normals, and let me change the background color. You will notice that the normals are facing in the right direction. However, this cylinder right here, if I was to combine it with this face, you will notice that the faces are facing the wrong direction. We want everything to stick out to face the area that we want to texture. So in this case, the cylinder's normals have to be reversed. To do that, we're going to go to Mesh Display, and we are going to go to Reverse. We're going to reverse the direction of the faces of the cylinder, as you can see. And now when I combine this object with this object, you will notice that the normals will be facing the right direction, like this. Now we are going to combine these two pieces right here. And what we have to do is we have to select both of these pieces, and we are going to go to Combine, and Combine is under Mesh, Combine. When we do that, you will notice that both objects have turned green. That is because they're now one piece. However, they are not sewn together. So what we have to do next, we have to sew these vertices right here. I'm going to hide the border edge. Border edges are found under Display, Polygons, Border Edges, but I do have a shortcut created right here. And I'm also going to disable the face normals. I also have a shortcut on my shelf. Next, what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that these vertices at the edge of the cylinder are flushed with the vertices on the plane. To do that, I'm going to double click on the cylinder's edge, and I'm going to switch my selection from edges to vertices by holding Command on a Mac and Control on a PC, right mouse button, and I'm going to go to vertices. And now my selection went from edges to vertices. I'm going to select Snap to Points, which is this icon right here, the magnet to the little point. And as I move my vertices, you will notice that it will snap to these vertices right here. I'm going to deselect the Snap to Points. And now we're going to use a tool to sew these vertices to these ones right here. The reason why I'm going to do the plain vertices to the cylinders is because I do not want to deform the shape of the cylinder. And for that, we're going to use a tool called the target wheel. The target wheel is found under the modeling toolkit target wheel, or you can go to Mesh Tools, and then at the very bottom, you have the target wheel. You can also go to the polygon shelf, and there's the target wheel. So the way that the target wheel works, and I'm going to focus on these two vertices right here. I'm going to hit F, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Is that when you select the target wheel, you're going to click on one of the vertices. You're going to get an orange ring, like so. And then while holding the mouse, you're going to drag it to the destination vertex. You're going to get this orange line, creating a visual representation of the connection. And as soon as I let go of the mouse, those two vertices have been welded together. So now I'm going to move to the next one, and I'm going to click from here to here. Next, from here to here. From here to here. And I'm going to go all the way around, sewing those vertices together until I close the hole. And let me select the object, hit F, and there you have it. We have cut a hole at the crossroads of 4 quads. We have split those quads to compensate for the number of faces. Okay, so I'm going to accelerate the video, but pretty much this is the basic process. I've attached this bolt onto the surface using the Snap Together tool. We have a whole video on how to do this. I want to make sure that the top, left, bottom, and right vertices for the bolt match the edges as close as I can. I'm going to select the vertex, chamfer it. I'm going to increase the width with the multicut tool. I'm going to cut those faces in half. Again, click on the edge and then drag the point towards the corner, and then hold shift to get the middle point. Then I'm going to select those vertices with the scale tool. I'm going to expand them, make room for the bolt. I'm going to select that face, and then the ones in the back, delete them. I don't care because the padding is going to cover the back. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to adjust the vertices so I can see them when I use the target wheel tool. And I'm going to select both of the objects. I'm going to combine them. I'm going to increase the border edge so I can see what I'm doing. And then with the target wheel tool, all I'm going to do is close the hole, by combining those two vertices together. And this is how you create holes in Maya.